Tonight, the A's travel to New York City. It was a good post-All-Star break homestand for the Athletics. 4 wins and 2 losses have the young A's building confidence at the major league level. The future is bright for Bob Melvin and the boys as the rookies are getting their playing time. Tonight, the youthful A's make their way to Citi Field to take on the Mets for a 3-game interleague set. The Mets have had a disappointing season, but have all the weapons to cause havoc on the Athletics. A's and Mets, game 1 of 3 is next. We are in Queens, folks, for interleague baseball. We're at Citi Field, home of the Mets. The 7 train will get you there. If you want to watch the A's and the Mets, we certainly do. Paul Blackburn will get the start tonight for the Athletics. It's the A's and the Mets coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. So Paul Blackburn gets the ball first of 3 here against the Mets. Ray, his first 3 starts, he's been pretty darn impressive. Yeah, it's amazing. Against the Seattle Mariners, did not strike out a batter. In his next start against the Indians, he struck out the first batter. But Paul Blackburn, making his 4th start, has pitched it very well. Against the Indians, maybe not as well as the previous 2. He did have 4 strikeouts, good breaking ball. The great thing about Blackburn, he's around the plate, he changes speeds, and if there's contact made, it's not very hard contact. That's always great for a pitcher. Been a bit of disappointing season for the Mets. Of course, they went to the postseason in 2015, again in 2016, but we get to see Yoenis Cespedes, and Ray, it looks like he's finally completely healthy for the Mets. One of the strongest men in all of baseball, swinging the bat, he's unbelievable. Plays an outstanding defensive left field, strong arm. But what he does at the plate is phenomenal. The home run derby champion for a couple of years. He knows how to swing the bat. He loves playing in New York on the big stage, as we saw him do that in the All-Star Game home run derby. So he has to love it here. But the thing about him, not only does he swing the bat, he can play some defense. And the key for Yoenis is to stay healthy. And if he does that, he's going to be a great player. All right, so Paul Blackburn for the A's. Steven Matz, a left-hander, will pitch for the Mets in game 1 of this 3-game series here in New York at Citi Field. Now, up next, we will head back to the A's pregame live studios and then come back to Queens for interleague baseball.
California is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger and chicken sandwich. Limited time only.
Well, cooled down nicely.
Well, once that sun goes down, boy, it's hot.
We were in Baltimore. It's like a swamp.
Oh, I'll bet.
Oh my gosh, it's so humid there.
I asked Joe West the other day, I said, seriously? You picked the day game? How the hell can you get the day game?
All right, good stuff. We like that. Good way to start our telecast. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. Well, Chip Hale said it's cooling off a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, as the fans on in
Not
front
a
of us.
Still 87 degrees and very humid in New York. It was even warmer yesterday. So a little hot weather coming through this part of the country. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Athletics. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and here it is. Rajai Davis to lead it off. Rajai's in center field. Marcus Semien is the shortstop. Ryan Healy's at first. Chris Davis in left. Matt Chapman slides up to the fifth spot. Then Joyce, Adams, Fegley, and the pitcher, Paul Blackburn. So Steven Matz, the left-hander, is ready, and he kicks and deals the first pitch of the game to Rajai Davis, and it's outside. So 7:10 local time, first pitch. Rajai Davis fouls the second pitch of the game back to the screen. So when they say 7:10, they mean 7:10 here at Citi Field.
Right on time. Rajai Davis and Adam Rosales, the two that have faced Matz.
Steven Matz, 26-year-old left-hander. Davis, Semien, and Healy, the first three in the A's lineup. There's a soft line drive into right field for a base hit. So Rajai Davis opens up the ball game with the single.
Pitchup might have been out of the strike zone, but Matz, after going inside, pitched him outside, and watch Rajai extend to the outside off the plate, take it to right field. That's 4 or 5 inches off the plate, but great execution. And that's what hitters should do against the lefty. Although Matz does pitch inside effectively with a good 94-mile-an-hour fastball, that's the only difference. But Rajai hit him perfectly.
Pitch cast brought to you by Penn Fed Credit Union. Here's Marcus Semien. High strike call to Marcus. He didn't agree. 151 the average for Semien with a homer and 5 RBIs. Since coming back from the disabled list, Semien has been in the lineup each and every game for the A's. Dan Iasonia calling balls and strikes. Brian Gorman, the crew chief, at first. Stu Shearwater's at second. Tripp Gibson is at third. So kind of a cool way to open up our show with the lineups being exchanged at home plate. We got the audio and the video going over the ground rules.
Commentary from Chip Hale. Now, Steven Matz, 4-pitch pitcher, fastball. Of course, as you saw with the pitch to Rajai Davis outside, but he has a good fastball, making his 8th start. And see the inflated earned run average. That's a result of the last couple of starts where he's not pitched extremely well, as he has been quoted as saying using a slider too much. Well, if you have a curveball and a slider, you can't use both of them. Well, you have to pick one or the other. He wants to use the curveball more. I think he was told that the Colorado Rockies are not very good at hitting sliders, so he threw a lot of sliders and they hit him quite well, like 7 runs. They learned how to hit it, but it's always better to pitch to your strength, not to the weaknesses of the opposing hitters.
Rajai runs, the ball's lined towards center. Conforto comes in, he's got to play it on a hop, and Rajai Davis is going to end up at third, and he bluffs coming home, stays at third. And the A's have first and third with nobody out here in the very first inning.
Well, Rajai Davis did the best thing. He kept running, because if the ball is caught by Conforto, he's going to be doubled up anyway. Could not get back quickly enough, so he kept running. The ball dropped in front of him. As the breaking ball, slow breaking ball that hit very hard. If Conforto had not, well, if he kept charging, ball might have gotten away from him. Rajai was on the move. At that point, he just kept running and got to third, thinking about scoring. As the ball hit off Conforto very hard. So very quickly the A's an opportunity to get on the board in the first inning. That's always great when you're on the road.
Here's Ryan Healy hitting in the third spot, playing first base. There's the two starts that Ray was talking about. The last one especially poor. 1 inning, 9 hits, 7 runs against the Rockies. When he made that start, his ERA was 3.05. When he ended the start, his ERA was 4.58. That's an ouch.
Well, and he did learn, and rightfully so. Tried to use the slider too much, and see tonight he's using the curveball more. He hung one to Marcus Semien, and that was a pretty good one to Ryan Healy.
With all that said, Matz is, when healthy, is pretty good.
Yes, he is.
He spent a lot of time on the disabled list. He had surgery in October.
And he could be number 4 very easily with Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Harvey.
How about that?
Oof. Him at the 4th.
There's a line drive, base hit left field. So 3 batters into the game, the A's have a 1-0 lead on Healy's RBI hit.
A very good job of hitting a hanging curveball again.
So RBI number 55 for Ryan Healy.
Watch this curveball stay right in the middle of the plate. And Darren Bush, the A's hitting coach, talking about Matz and, of course, telling the hitters in their advanced scouting report. That ball was crushed by Ryan Healy. No chance for Reyes to get to it.
So Davis, Semien, Healy all single to give the A's the 1-0 lead. And here's Chris Davis. Davis takes just a little bit outside. Matz thought he had a strike.
27 home runs for Chris Davis. Out of those 27, Perez, Keuchel, and Snell, the 3 lefties that have gone deep against them. 24 against the righties. Keuchel and Perez in the month of April, something he didn't do much anything last year in the month of April.
So now it's 2-0 to Chris Davis. So Matz just keeps working himself into more trouble. 186 versus left-handers for Davis, 258 versus right-handers. There's a strike. So Matz, August of last year, went on the disabled list with sore shoulder, and he was then out the rest of the year. And then when October came, Ray, he had surgery, but it was for a bone spur in his elbow. This year he opened up the season on the disabled list with some inflammation in that left elbow. So just trying to stay healthy. Quick look at the defense for the Mets. Our old friend Yoenis Cespedes in left. Conforto, Michael Conforto, he's an all-star in center. Jay Bruce in right. Rivera, Reyes, Cabrera, Duda around the infield, third to first, and Travis d'Arnaud is the catcher. Yoenis Cespedes.
Very colorful, huh?
He's got it all covered, man.
Of course, a team that does not run very much, the Athletics. Rajay will run, but Matt's paying a lot of attention. You better pay attention to the hitter, because Chris Davis can take him yard any part of this park, and they have moved the fences in since we were last here.
And now the count is full 3-2. Terry Collins, the manager of the Mets, he's had some success. It's also not easy being a manager in New York. It's his 7th season, 968 career wins. Ground ball hit to short, could be to Reyes, to Cabrera, to Duda, and that was a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play. So 2 outs with Semien going to third. So Matt's got exactly what he needed to kind of slow this inning down for him.
And the runners were not on the move in the 3-2 pitch, which helped turn the double play even more.
So that'll bring up Matt Chapman.
If you have first and second, nobody out with 1 run in, you get a double play. You got a chance to get out of this with 1, maybe 2. The A's hope that Chapman can come through with a 2-out hit.
Pretty good breaking ball there by Matz. Chapman at 193, couple of home runs, 5 RBIs. Great thing about Matt Chapman, of course, just getting started in his career. Every ballpark he goes to, he's in for the first time. Well, he's playing in it for the first time.
That's why I mentioned to the guys back in the studio that it's funny watching Brugman. Top Step just taking the video, and you get a chance to play the next couple of days more than likely with righties pitching tomorrow night and Sunday.
Well, we don't get to experience very often, but every once in a while we see a ballpark for the first time, and it's exciting for us.
Sure.
For these players playing on a big league field for the first time, in this case here in New York. Two and two to Chapman.
The boys have the picture back in the back of the booth, guy, from 1986, the stadiums in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I like that.
They're all cookie cutters.
Look too much alike.
Yeah, all the cookie cutter stadiums.
They're all very round.
Yeah.
So 3-2 the count now.
And there's all new ones in there, except I think I saw Angel Stadium, well, Anaheim Stadium at the time, the Coliseum, Fenway, and Wrigley. That's about it.
So
Dodger Stadium. Thank you, Mike.
Pitch is in there. Strike 3 call. So the A's get 1 run on 3 hits. Ryan Healy with the RBI single. So a half inning in the books from Citi Field. It's 1-0 Athletics. A's, here come the Mets in the bottom of the first. Starting lineup for New York, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Michael Conforto, he's the center fielder. Asdrubal Cabrera, the veteran second baseman. Bruce Cespedes Duda, Rivera, Reyes, Darno, and Mats. That's your New York Mets starting lineup.
And Paul Blackburn will be making the start for the Athletics, starting the first game of this road trip, which means that all goes well. He'll make 2 starts on this 7-game trip, and would like to start very well tonight, get the A's a victory in the first game of this weekend series for the Mets, making his 4th start. The other one's in the American League, of course. Last one against the Tribe. He does have a record of 1-0. Picked up his first Major League victory at Seattle.
First pitch, a strike to Michael Conforto.
He is not overpowering. Blackburn knows how to pitch, and he will not break a radar gun, but he's usually around the plate. 4 strikeouts in the start against the Indians. That pitch right there, good curveball.
Chapman in front of his own dugout makes the catch. So 1 out here in the bottom of the first. A's defense. It's the law firm in the outfield, Davis, and Joyce. Chapman, Simeon, Rosales, and Healy on the infield with Fegley doing the catching.
That's a good one.
Davis, and Joyce. Doesn't it sound like a law firm?
Yeah.
For all your lawyer needs.
Just a matter of who you want to contact.
Take your pick.
Josh Fegley catching Blackburn for the 2nd time. Maxwell the last 2 starts. Fegley caught his debut, his being Blackburn. That was against or against Atlanta.
Cabrera, a line shot right into the glove of Healy, 2 outs. There's Drupal Cabrera. Has that fun walk back to the dugout when he lined out to an infielder.
And the old Adam ball right to Ryan Healy. Caught it perfectly, and from his right knee, a little flip to the second baseman. Second baseman is Adam Rosales, who's now in shallow right field. Shea Stadium and now Citi Field.
Shea. Hold on.
Shea Stadium. Many years.
Next door.
Yeah. We saw this one being built while we were in that one.
Here's Jay Bruce. Shea Stadium.
Ralph Kiner. Oh boy, what a big guy. Champion 7-3, but there's no WW. There's no World Championship next to that one.
Blackburn to first, and Paul Blackburn with a 3-up, 3-down inning, and he needed just 5 pitches. That's right, 5 pitches, 1-0 game.
Opportunity to learn about science through baseball with the Science of the Game program. Students in 1st through 8th grades who complete the Science of the Game workbooks can earn 2 free tickets to a regular season A's game. Visit athletics.com/science to get your workbooks today.
So top of the 2nd inning, A's 1, Mets nothing. The A's open up the ball game with singles by Davis, Simeon, and Healy for that 1-0 lead. Here's Matt Joyce. First pitch to Joyce in for strike. Matt Joyce had a home run on Wednesday against the Rays. 12 homers, 38 RBIs.
It's a good one for him to hit as he got a chance to hit one against his former club.
As Drupal Cabrera grabs it. Joyce is retired.
2-0 fastball, a little bit up, and I thought Darren Bourchier's hitting coach said about this right there. I asked him about the number of home runs hit. Of course, there have been a lot of theories about hard baseballs, bats, but he said the elevated fastball, he thinks that is the reason for more home runs, that pitchers are pitching up in the zone more. Unlike Doolittle, who threw hard and throws hard with the fastball up. That fastball that he hit on Wednesday was belt high, not much on it, and it was gone. A lot of theories around as to why there are so many home runs being hit. I think they swing hard.
I think the ball is juiced.
Yep. Well, I believe it. Well, and you know the one thing, Kipe, that
maybe juiced is, you know what, juiced is not the right.
Well, hard, which creates that.
Thank you.
But the one thing that is happening with the seams, and talking to Jarrell Cotton, who went on a rehab assignment. He said he noticed a big difference in AAA than his big leagues. And you think about the shorter or smaller seams versus the higher seams. The higher seams, guys can throw breaking pitches. But the theory is that with the small or the lower seam, they have to dig harder into it to get a grip. Hold it tighter, and that creates the blisters. In the case of Jarrell, he used his thumb for the cut fastball, and all of a sudden it finally popped open.
Another theory that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of pitchers have said that something's up with the seams, and they feel like they got to hold the ball a little bit tighter. Who knows? But it's certainly a legitimate, lively debate in baseball this year.
I was listening as I have the interviews that I've done. Brad Fisher, I interviewed in 2000, 17 years ago. He was talking about the baseballs and how different they are. 17 years ago. He said, boy, it's hard to get the shine off of the baseballs. The seams are short. I said, wow. Yeah. And here we are in 2017 still talking about it. And that was after it was a game in Texas, 2 games. That was the 3rd game, and home runs were flying out of the park. But it's ongoing, probably cyclical, where you can talk about it, and all of a sudden it goes away. You don't talk about it, and then it comes back, and everybody wants to talk about something.
But you know what? You and I both love baseball. And baseball always has different debates going on about the game.
Absolutely.
Every year there's shifts. I mean, where did that come from, right?
Yeah.
Now it's a huge thing that everybody talks about. So it makes baseball great. Yeah. So a good inning for Mets Cespedes to lead it off. Oakland A's. This may be like the greatest play we've ever seen. 3 seasons with the A's, 365 games. He had 66 home runs. If you could read his statistics off, Ray, and which we just did a little bit, but there was a lot more to Yoenis Cespedes. I am convinced that just the way he is as a player is immensely confident. He likes the limelight, but not to the point where he wants to be on TV. I just think he's fine with being in the spotlight.
Absolutely.
And I really think that when he was with the A's, he took a lot of pressure off the hitters around him, like a Donaldson and like a Moss.
They all talked about when he was there, he deflected everything, and to the point that he said, those guys said, we got good pitches because of him.
Sure.
When he left, he said, both Donaldson and Moss said, all of a sudden,
those good pitches dried up a little bit.
Changed everything. So he was huge and found a home here. And the one thing about Yoenis, I mean, you don't go in the home run derby, Major League Baseball. mean, there are guys that go in and get nervous and never hit one. He thrived. He loved it.
Sure.
Take Mike Gallego with him to throw. And now all he does every time well, all that stuff he has on, but now he goes to Florida for spring training and he's driving a different car every day. And by the way, they want the pace of the game. Count how long it takes for Giannis to get rid of all that stuff if he gets on base. He's got a whole bunch of protection on the left side. That shin guard might be the biggest I've ever seen.
Hanger for a strike, 3-2. Well, it's as big as the catcher's.
Exactly.
Thing with Cespedes, though, he was fun to cover for us because you just always thought he was going to do something special. A lot of times he did. And there was times, I mean, he's a streaky hitter. There was times where he would look bad for a couple weeks.
But I always
scared the other dugout.
Oh yeah, I always thought about Howie Kendrick. He was the one that was throwing out home plate. He's got to be thinking he bobbled the ball. I'm going to score easily, and all of a sudden he's out. The hardest to believe play I've ever seen in my life.
Davis hustling over into right center field. He makes the catch. Looks like that was off the end of the bat just a little bit by Cespedes. This was 2013 right here at Citi Field.
Look at those shots. Wow.
Serious?
Well, the camera work is great. That must have been Tommy Ads, the award-winning Emmy Award winner.
But you sit here in this ballpark and you see those highlights, and then you see where the ball was landing.
Yeah. What'd you say about the baseballs?
Well, that night they did. For that home run derby.
I think they do it. I think they do it. And well, that's the fun part. That's the great part about it.
But I thought too, like, you know, he was there representing the Athletics, and it was a big deal.
Absolutely.
For the A's organization. That one is a fair ball. Begley bounces on it, throws to first. So Lucas Duda, he probably hit that ball 3 to 4 feet.
Well, watch how it goes straight down, spins out into fair territory, and that's the key. Whoop. And see the mud spot. Maybe they're thinking the sinker ball pitcher. You know, they have all the exit velocities and all that. I saw something that with Paul Blackburn, his off-speed pitches, the exit velocity is the lowest of anybody, about 87 miles per hour.
That's a good sign.
And that's great because, you know, you have to provide your own power, and Blackburn does it perfectly. Mix in a fastball, but he'll throw the off-speed pitches. That was at 91. That's top.
This is T.J. Rivera, young third baseman. 289 with 5 home runs, 25 RBIs. Of course, the Mets regular third baseman David Wright. We all know his story. He's just got a back that just will not allow him to go. He's been out the entire year. And that one is just foul. So that's a big loss. David Wright, a very fine player, but he's been dealing with the back issues for a couple years now. And he's just part of a fairly long and important list. I mean, look at these names for the Mets. We talked about this in the pregame show. Wright, Syndergaard, the closer familia. Neil Walker's a very good player. He's their second baseman. Matt Harvey, Juan Lagares, a terrific outfielder, Gold Glove center fielder. So this is a team that has some talent, but the injuries have got to them pretty hard. So another good inning for Paul Blackburn. He's gone 6 up, 6 down, 1-0 A's after 2. Heck's going on in Major League Baseball? Well, here's a couple things. Mike Foltynewicz, another good start, is he and the Braves slowed down momentarily anyways, the Dodgers. Aaron Judge got a big hit last night as the Yankees beat King Felix and the Mariners. Judge has been struggling a little bit. Brandon Moss 4 RBIs. The Royals beat the Tigers 16-4. So the Yankees cross town, of course. They are the #2 wild card team. And those Kansas City Royals, Ray, just a game and a half behind the Yankees for that second wild card spot. So that AL wild card, I'm convinced, is going to be very, very interesting. Don't know about the National League. That looks like Diamondbacks and the Rockies holding on to a pretty large lead for the 2 wild card spots, but it is wide open in the American League. The Rays, the Yankees are the 2 wild cards right now, and then you see how close the Twins, the Royals, Mariners, Angels, Orioles, they're all in it as Blackburn gets called out on a 3rd strike.
Well, first major league at bat for Paul Blackburn.
You go.
Good enough. We had a chance to talk so much about all the wild card while Blackburn was taking.
Well, we didn't want to like say what the A's have done the last couple years, so we just.
He painted. You know the best thing about this? He gets to walk back to the dugout instead of having to run first base. Was this a little muggy? Chris Smith talking to him. Look, he's trying to tell him what to do.
So here's Rajai Davis. I guess it's like this every year, but you see those wild card standings and you start thinking, well, which team is going to make the best trade?
Absolutely.
And sometimes teams make trades and they don't work out the way they had hoped. Jose Reyes, nice play. He's got that quick release to get Rajai Davis.
Well, that's the time. And talking to Sandy Alderson, who's in charge of the Mets, and talking about some moves that they might be making. Is there's the back end. That's what we talked about. The infielders trying to back end the ball, set themselves up to throw it across the diamond. Reyes did it perfectly. Sandy also said something I thought was rather interesting. The Hall of Fame induction is next weekend, which is the weekend before the trading deadline.
Yeah.
And Sandy, of course, he's going back to the Bill King induction on the Saturday. He said, I may have to leave because the deadline, and there may be a consideration of the Hall of Fame weekend changing because it's so close to the trading deadline. Yeah. Because the media wants to cover the Hall of Fame and the trading deadline, acquisitions or trades, whatever it might be. So see if that takes place.
Marcus Semien drives one to right center field for a hit. So Jay Bruce gets over there quickly. 2-out hit for Semien. He's 2 for 2.
Well, that's 2 hits for Marcus Semien with 2 strikes. 0-2 his first at bat. Curveball up the middle. And this fastball up and away with 2 strikes also. And goes opposite field. So good hitting by Semien. That is interesting too, Kai. Semien was saying that he's trying to get himself back to where, I mean, he missed a lot of time with a broken hand. A lot of talk about the A's were talking about an extension for him, and he said it kind of fell apart after he got hurt. But he actually went to the bullpen while Chris Smith and Jarrell Cotton were throwing their side sessions. He said, I just wanted to watch the baseball cross the plate and try to recognize strikes, try to recognize the pitches.
That was today.
That was today, exactly. And so, I mean, it's something. He came in from the bullpen area, not for BP because the cages are underneath next to the A's dugout. But he was just standing there. And some hitters will do that just to be able to see a pitcher in his release point.
Hit hard, just foul. What do they call that? Tracking the pitches?
The baseball, exactly. Tracking the ball.
So you're really just standing there. You're obviously not going to swing. You're just watching it all the way into the catcher's mitt.
Exactly. Watch the release point from the pitcher. And you pretty much know the pitches that are coming because the pitcher has to tell the catcher.
Jay Bruce hustling back. Jay Bruce, a couple steps onto the warning track, makes the catch. Side retired, hit and a runner left. We're headed to the bottom of the 3rd. Reyes to lead it off. 1-0 A's.
Xbox One, PS4, iOS, and Android. You can enjoy fast-paced pick-up and play MLB action, packed with all your favorite MLB teams, players, ballparks, and much more. Your breakout MLB season is right here. You better come ready to play. Learn more at RBIGame.com.
See that hat?
About
I was
that,
going to
huh?
say, it looked like a hat Charlie Finley would have worn in the 1973 World Series.
No. I take that back. It's one that he would have purchased for us to
For
have
us
to
to-
wear. Yeah.
You know what? You guys can embarrass yourselves.
Exactly. Charlie wouldn't wear it. He did that. He did that. 74. They were cowboy hats.
Jose Reyes, Travis d'Arnaud, and Steven Matz, bottom three for Mets. Blackburn, 6 up, 6 down so far.
Well, we came in there before, and he was hitting leadoff and a terror before he went to Miami, came back. And
that one is line center field. Rajai Davis is there. So 1-1. This is the 5th time that the A's and Mets have played. Last time, 2014. That was one of those 2-2 series. Played 2 games here and then a couple games back at the Coliseum. Overall, this is the 3rd time we've been in this ballpark. We were here in 2011 and then again in 2014.
And I want to say there was an off day in Miami following the
Right
second
after that,
game
right?
here.
Yeah.
Right. You're right. Split the series here. Tommy Malone, who's now with the Mets on the DL. He was on that list of DL players.
What I remember about that 2-game series in 2014, and you're much better at remembering these things than I am, but I remember the A's lost the first game of the series, and then they knocked around Zach Wheeler in the second game. Moss hit a grand slam or a 3-run homer.
Yeah, Bartolo Colon did his job, masterful job in the first.
Rajai Davis flying across the outfield grass makes the catch.
But Zach Wheeler goes tomorrow,
Yep.
so maybe the A's can win tonight and tomorrow. They'd like to get off on the start of this road trip, playing very well the second half of the season, post All-Star break. Paul Blackburn, of course, the Bay Area native. What a story. Smith Vasandi told him, he said, you know, this could be more than just a one and done. You know, it looked like he was going to make the one start and go back to AAA. Pitched so well in his first start that he said, let's give him another one and another one. And this is his 4th. Now he gets to hopefully return the favor and do a good job for Bob Melvin and face the pitcher. Something that very rare for an American League pitcher to face an opposing pitcher. You know what happens, Guy? Pitchers say, I'm facing the pitcher, I have to get him out. And that's usually when they mess
right.
up. They say, I can't let another pitcher get a hit or reach base on me. Look at this, 3 in a row, not close. Thing is, Matz may not even be up there to swing the bat. Of course, he does have a batting average. It's 167, which to some players, that's high. Forget about the sink. 4-seam right across the seams and right down the middle.
Here's a strike. Well, whether you like the pitcher hitting or not is not the argument here. But when I hear people say, well, who wants to watch the pitcher just stand up there and hit and strike out 3 times? But I'm telling you, the 9th spot in the order when you're playing a National League team in their park, you think about that spot.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. Because you really you have that feeling, like you said, where you really got to get this guy out. But if you don't, things get a little weird. And there's a base hit, right field.
He retires 8 in a row, 3 pitches out of the strike zone. He threw 3 fastballs down the middle. And Matz gets on base. Now in the National League, it's no big deal because even though they don't hit that much and get on the bases that much, but they know how to run the bases. They have to. This is 3 pitches exactly the same spot. 89, which is pretty hittable. Plus, remember, the National League pitchers hit every day, take batting practice. Watching the Giants game was the last night with Baumgartner. He looked better than most everyday position players hitting.
Plus, if you give up a hit to the pitcher, you're hacked off.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, look what happened last year.
Oh my goodness.
There it is.
Oh my goodness. So the Mets take the lead on Conforto's 17th home run of the year. And that, folks, was a bomb.
And just like that, it's retired 8 in a row. 3-0 on the pitcher. 3 fastballs for a strike. First pitch to Conforto. And if he gets the pitcher out, he faces Conforto next inning. Who knows what would have happened? But this was a perfectly thrown pitch, middle of the plate. Conforto did not miss it, and that's why he's an all-star. Change up. Crossed. Didn't fool it.
And the thing is we don't know what's going to happen the rest of this game. The A's may very well come back and win the game, but just keep that 2-out hit by Matz in mind.
That's right.
But here's Asdrubal Cabrera. It's one fair. Nice play by Healy. Healy will take it himself. Side retired. So after the 2-out hit by the pitcher, Conforto homers. It's 2-0 or it's 2-1 Mets.
Presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
So the Mets now lead 2-1, top of the 4th inning. A's made some roster moves for this series, and here they are. Frankie Montas is back in the bullpen, and Matt Olson is on the bench. So Montas, Olson up. Neal and Brady, a couple of relievers sent down, and Chris Carter signed to a minor league contract. He'll be with Nashville. The numbers for Carter this year down, but of course last year hit over 40 home runs with Milwaukee. Yeah. So Matt Olson is here. Frankie Montas is here. A few changes. So the 21st of August, Ray Fosse, getting close. Or July. I was thinking August. The 1st is the trade deadline. Yes. The 1st of July.
Yeah, it is. It's approaching. It's right after the Hall of Fame weekend, and that would be the 31st, which is the Tuesday. The A's will be hosting the Giants. So a lot could be happening between now and then.
Well, the Mariners made a trade last night. Finished it off today. They got David Phelps, pretty good reliever from Miami. Right-hander. They gave up 4 prospects to the Mariners, but they get Phelps for this year and next year. He will not be a free agent until after 2018, so that's a pretty good bullpen arm for the Mariners to slide into that mix. Davis had a good rip. The Mariners are 2 games out in that wild card race, so they're Feeling like we're close enough to.
That's right.
We need some bullpen help, and they went and got a. He's pretty good, David Felt.
Close enough to be buyers instead of
Yeah,
sellers.
that's right.
Since they have some guys with contracts they perhaps could not move anyway.
True. 2-2 to Chris Davis, who hit into the 6-4-3 double plays. First at bat, swing and miss. He struck him out. 94 miles an hour. So Matz, after giving up that Healy base hit that drove in the run, he's had just one hit since then.
Well, he's going more to the fastball. He's got a good one at 94. A lot of the breaking balls into the right-handers coming right into the wheelhouse.
He's retired 9 out of 10 since that Healy single. He now has 4 strikeouts, and here's Matt Chapman.
And one thing Matz can do, similar to Jason Vargas, with a fastball hard inside, where you cannot stay focused so much on the outside part of the plate that you don't think about the inside, but he does it just enough, like Vargas does, to make the outside location even more impressive.
Yeah, as we said, Matt's opened up this season on the disabled list. Didn't pitch in a minor league game till the middle of May. Struggles early, which we saw tonight, then settles in. He did not make his first big league start this year till June 10th. And he's an important part of the Mets' future. The Mets were touting, and why wouldn't you, but Syndergaard, Harvey, DeGrom, Matz, and Wheeler. That's a pretty good rotation, but they just haven't been able to keep these guys healthy. Jacob DeGrom's having a very good year. Good pitch there by Matz. Syndergaard, when healthy, is as good as anybody, but he's got to stay healthy. Line drive heads up. Off the netting above the A's dugout.
You think these young players, the A's, don't have to make some adjustments? Here's Matt Chapman, works the count to 3-1, gets a breaking ball. It's a nice curveball. It's another curveball, 3-2. Now Matz could try to sneak a fastball by him. We'll see. Just maybe go inside it. Probably be a fastball.
And it was a fastball, but worked its way up and away to Chapman. So that strikes out for the second time.
Arno moved inside. He wanted it up a little bit, and it did sneak back out of the strike zone. Very similar to Josh Phegley swinging wildly to pitch not close. That one a little bit up and away. But that's 3-1 curveball, fastball. And, you know, it just, I think one of the pitchers told me, he said, they're not opposed to throwing all sliders and laughing at you. You know, and that's what it is at this level. They don't give in that much. And that's why usually, as we've talked often, home runs are hit on mistake pitches. There's been a lot of mistakes this year.
Diving attempt by Cabrera, can't get it. So Matt Joyce has a base hit. That's the 5th hit for the A's. Comes with 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
Stayed on the breaking ball, and that's probably left it a little bit too much in the middle of the plate. But Matt Joyce stayed on it and hit it hard.
Salas hits a little flare, has a chance to fall, and it will. So Joyce will hustle around to third. Rosie will take it. First and third, 2 outs.
And that was such a delayed swing for Adam Rosales. And he saw the breaking ball, planted his front foot, decided, well, I think I'll swing, and lofted it to right field. There's the plant of the foot, and then out of the box a little bit, probably wisely, and maybe helped that he did stumble a little bit. He might have tried for 2 and got thrown out. A chance for Jay Bruce to get to it. Matt Joyce knew he was going to get to third easily.
Okay, Ray, here you go.
That's it.
Strategy time.
8th place hitter.
8th place hitter up. Pitcher in the on deck circle. Guy who's hit 1 time in the big leagues. See what Matt's does.
That was
with
tonight.
Yeah, that's right. He's got 1 big league at bat. About 20 minutes ago.
Curveball, nice block.
What would you do? I don't like to put you on the spot, but I mean, if you're
pitch around it,
throw some balls in the dirt, or don't even throw it in the dirt.
Just move off the plate. And you know, this is usually where the manager looks at you and points to his head and says, "Think," to the catcher, because you're not going to intentionally walk him, but there's no reason for Fegley to get a good pitch to hit.
So what you're hoping then, if you're Mats, is you're hoping that Fegley says, you know what, I'm going to extend my strike zone to try to drive this run in and maybe swing at a bad pitch.
And he should. He should try to do that.
Oh, big time.
Because he knows as a catcher, that's the philosophy right now. Because his hitter, his pitcher in the on-deck circle is trying to be a hitter. Change it. See, that's, he looked for it. Looked like he thought he was going to get a fastball, but it was a change-up. So that's curveball in the dirt, fastball out of the strike zone badly. Just change up, threw it for a swing, which he got, lower part of the strike zone. And the worst thing a pitcher can do is feel very comfortable saying, well, I can get him out, and then make a mistake in the middle of the plate.
But see, again, I know we're spending a lot of time on this, but if you kind of pitch around Fegley and say, you know what, I'm going to go after the pitcher with the bases loaded, and then you go into that mentality that you said, I really got to get this guy out, and I can't mess around because the bases are loaded.
But if he gets Fegley out, then he's accomplished two things. He's got him out, plus he's got the pitcher leading off next inning.
Yep. So the count 2-2 to Fegley.
That throw to first base is because Mats, Collins, they're all thinking that what we're talking about, that maybe the A's have put on a trick play, try to steal a run. Literally. Trying to get him to chase the fastball away. Wow.
And he throws it right down the middle, and a bullet to Rivera. They get the out at second base. So Fegley got a pitch to hit on the last pitch, and he hit it hard, but the A's do not score.
As the A's host the Giants July the 31st and August the 1st. Bay Area supremacy is on the line as we rekindle memories of 1989. Plus exciting action before the game on Championship Plaza with food trucks and DJs going head-to-head for Bay Area bragging rights. Be a part of history. Visit athletics.com/Bay, B-A-Y.
Well, I think what's going to be fun, though, is that certainly don't know about the two games in San Francisco, but the two games in Oakland on Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot going on, even more so than just the games itself.
Yeah.
Like what you just read, the giveaway. I think it's going to be a terrific atmosphere at the Coliseum. And we talked about this a little while ago, Ray. Of course, the tarps are off the upper deck. The capacity now at the Coliseum is right around 47,000.
Yep, exactly.
And wouldn't it be cool?
I think it's going to be.
Wouldn't it be cool if they could get to 47,000?
Yeah. I had over 40 for the fireworks, the last fireworks show. Ooh, thank you. That strike.
It was. Jay Bruce is like, what? What was that?
Yeah, remember those seats up on the upper deck are that's a value upper deck, not just the value deck behind home plate.
Jay Bruce, line drive, foul territory. Healy grabs it for the first out. And two, listen, hey, Giants fans want to come over, fine.
Absolutely, that's right, and they will.
More the merrier.
There's a lot of fans in the East Bay.
But it should. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it, and that's. I think it would be really neat if at least one of those games get to 47,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to have huge crowds both games.
You know, and I think also the food trucks are going to be huge because people
get enough out there.
That's right. Get the Championship Plaza and people to the picnic tables, watch the game, go to the food trucks. A lot of great food. Seeing more and more people. The visiting teams that are coming in and going to the food trucks, and not to say anything negatively about the Coliseum food, but bottom line, that's a new addition to the food trucks, and they've gone over very well.
2-0 to Cespedes. That four-game series, 2 at the Coliseum, 2 in San Francisco. Coming up quickly, a week from Monday. And then you throw in the trade deadline that night, that Monday night. Three 3-0 to Cespedes with Lucas Duda waiting in the on-deck circle.
Look out.
Rips one to right field for a base hit. So Cespedes has a 1-out single. Cespedes just trying to stay in the lineup. He's missed a lot of time this year.
Well, not a bad idea to throw him outside, and Cespedes goes hard to the opposite field. Strong man. Remember when he's playing the outfield, he come up a little bit short. Ty Waller, his first base coach, outfield coach for the Athletics, said Cespedes told him that in Cuba when he was playing, the outfield walls were concrete with no padding. So he said it's understandable that he would shy away from the outfield walls. if that was, I said, yeah, I guess so. Because people say, well, why wouldn't he go against the wall? But if you're accustomed to running into concrete, even though they're padded here, a little bit reluctant to do that.
And you know what? I don't want Yoenis Cespedes running into the wall.
Exactly right.
I mean, is it the World Series? If it is, okay, fine.
No, just let him boot a ball like he did in Anaheim and kick it over to the foul territory and throw out the runner from left field.
Cespedes' hamstring injury this year. He's missed 43 games.
That's a lot.
Grounded slowly. Rosales is going to get the out at second, on to first, and it's in time. Duda hits into the double play, and a very close play at first, and a nice play by Ryan Healy. So we'll see if the Mets want to take a look at it. I was kind of waiting for Brian Gorman to say safe.
I was too.
I don't think they're going to look at it.
So he jumped to the bag and got him.
So it's a 4-6-3 double play, and that ends the bottom of the fourth. hit very hard, but Rosie
Jammed
made
him.
a nice play.
Actually jammed him in the shift, and Rosie, quick throw to Simeon. Simeon with a one hopper over to Ryan Healy, and Mets did look at it. Wasn't worthy of checking it out, so resume play. Slow down, slow down.
Cabrera throws out Blackburn. So let's see just how close this was.
Simeon out of the way of the hard slide by Cespedes and bounced. And it was bang bang. But maybe the fact that Simeon out easily a second, but Duda, maybe he jumped to the bag. At the same time, the ball went on the first baseman bit, not worthy of a challenge. And Ryan Healy getting his work in first base.
So one away for Rajai Davis. Third baseman T.J. Rivera comes in about even with the bag. I've seen Rajai drop a bunt down occasionally. He lines one to right field, and that's a base hit. Rajai Davis is 2 for 3.
Keep pitching him out there and keep going to the right field. That's what Rajai wants to do, is just get on base. Cause some havoc on the base paths. Fastball again, maybe off the plate, outside and up. And Rajai, thank you very much. It's great hitting. You know, if he gets a pitch inside, as he talked about Aroldis Chapman last year in the World Series, it's just a reaction on the inside part of the play. The outside is the one that you try to hit to the opposite field. Definitely don't want to try to pull it.
$17 for 22. Steal attempts for Rajai Davis. He's got a few more lately because A, he's hitting a little bit better, and B, he's playing more. Stole 43 last year at the Indians. He was out there the majority of the time. Marcus Simeon is 2 for 2. Throw to second, and Rajai is out. And Rajai slid kind of awkwardly into Reyes. It was kind of a.
I don't know if did Reyes ever tag him.
It wasn't a real head first slide. It was kind of a sideways slide, and yeah, did Reyes get a tag down?
See what Rajai did. Rajai tried to change his direction. See, there he went in because he knew the throw was coming from the first baseman. And Rajai sent his hands on the bag before he tagged him, and that's a big call. See if the hand gets on it. Yeah, he did. He's safe at that angle right there because his hand got on the bag. Cabrera's pushing him off, but I think the A's going to take a look at it or not. Wow.
Reyes is not feeling all that great.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at it. And Rajai just went over to third base coach, but it looked at a couple of angles that was showed that as Rajai went down, Cabrera tagged, or Reyes tagged him on the backside. It looked like the hand was on the back. You see how Rajai changed his angle because he knew the throw was coming in. Goes down, and high throw. His hands on the bag when he's tagged. I think if they look at that one, that's at least seems like at that point hasn't even gone down and tag him yet. His hands all over the bag. We shall see. Cabrera and Rajai were teammates for a while, and it looked like Rajai, as he stood on the bag, Cabrera comes up and starts pushing him toward. What is this? He's going to push you. Watch it. Just push him out of the way towards first base or to the dugout. So I'll go over and talk to my third base coach. Well, if they looked at our shots from our great crew, Yes, I see it. Yep. Safe. Stole the base.
So it's a stolen base for Rajay Davis, his 18th. Marcus Semien now with a chance to tie up this ball game. Ryan Healy is the on-deck hitter, one away here in the top of the 5th.
Well, Rajay did the best thing. We've seen him a couple of times. The homestand, he got picked off, got thrown out at second. This time, though, and both times he didn't stop running. He just went on first move and kept running. Made a very good angle. The throw from Duda was a little bit high. Was Duda playing first base against the Royals when he made the bad throw when Hosmer scored? I think he did. I think he did. There was a throw from right. They were playing infield in. A ground ball to right. Right looked the runner back. Hosmer threw to first base.
I think it was.
And Hosmer came running down the line, and Duda made a bad throw. And that was a huge game.
It tied up the game.
I remember asking Hosmer about that, and he said, "I just ran." And very aggressively ran, as the Royals did, because they knew. And you talked about Wright, David Wright's.
There's a base hit. Rajay Davis rounding the bag at third. Conforto's throw to the plate is just a little bit late. Rajay scores, and we're tied 2-2.
And Ryan Healy was down on his knees telling him to slide, but Rajay probably did it best. So there's a stolen base overturned after the out call. Base hit up the middle, and Rajay with a late jump. Break off second base, but Steve Scarsone sent him anyway. High fastball, so there's 3 consecutive hits for Marcus Semien up the middle. And the fact the ball's on the ground, close play at the plate, but watch Rajay just run through the plate. See Ryan Healy's telling him to slide. That's the on-deck hitter. He's telling him to slide. He had to go around the bat that was in the way and jumped on the plate and avoided the tag. Well, those bats are in the way all the time, aren't they? Amazing. It's almost like the catcher's putting him there.
Semien runs, got a good jump, and he's going to make it. Semien with a stolen base.
Rajay, and here's Steve Scarsone sending him, and Rajay, don't look back because the throw's coming, and just barely got his foot on the plate.
Yeah, he barely touched home plate.
Yes, he did, and throw coming in, and Darno had to stay in front of the plate. Just got his right foot on the corner of the plate. Ryan Healy right down the line, tell him to slide, and that's great on deck hitting. And great move by Ryan Healy being there to tell him to slide. But he didn't, ran through it. And he's tied the game.
Rajay Davis, a couple of runs scored tonight. Now a chance for the A's to take the lead.
Semien, like Rajay, went on first move, except this time Matz didn't throw over. Semien stole it easily. This started after a 1-pitch out to Paul Blackburn, the pitcher, who led off the inning. So Matt's got the strikeout of the ground ball last inning, with Fegley had the pitcher leading off, but he's given up a couple of hits and tied the game.
So 2-2 the count to Healy. Chris Davis waiting in the on-deck circle. 75 pitches from Matz. Or he's coming off that start where he only pitched 1 inning. He only threw 39 pitches. Semien dancing around at second base, and another foul ball by Healy. All right-handers in the lineup tonight, except for Matt Joyce. So the A's have Alonso, Maxwell, Rugman, and Olson on the bench, along with Lowry. So 4 left-handed hitters and a switch hitter.
And Matt Olson brought back. We showed the moves made by the A's because of a National League City, wanted an extra position player. 2 pitchers down, a pitcher up, and a position player up.
Check swing, and now it's 3-2. Matson, Doolittle gone. Of course, Ryan Dole still on the disabled, so the bullpen looks a lot different than it did beginning of the season.
And Blake Trinan is going to be a great addition to the ball club. Seeing him pitch a couple of times right now, kind of the setup role in the 8th inning.
A shot to left field, a base hit. Here comes Simeon, and Simeon is held up.
That's respect right there. That's respect for the arm in left field, and great at bat by Ryan Healy to get the base hit. And Warthen's going to visit with his pitcher. First and foremost, with 1 out, Simeon probably did not get a great jump. Simeon, though, waiting to see, you going to test me? Did not. Now, see, Simeon had to stop, and with 1 out, he had to make sure the ball went through. And at that point, probably the best thing that Steve Scarsone could see him hold up. Gold glove for Cespedes. See, a lot of times, third base coach watches the ball, doesn't see the runner stop. And in Simeon's case, I mean, he knows that it's 1 out. And you kind of anticipate that maybe the runner, where the ball hit the left side, is not going to get a great jump because there's only 1 out. You want to make sure it goes through. That's good base running. But as a third base coach, you have to have 1 eye on him, 1 eye on the ball going to the outfield, and also in the scouting report, knowing that the guy with the ball in left field throws quite well.
So here's Chris Davis. First pitch to Davis is up and away. Davis has hit into a double play, and he has struck out. Tied for second in the American League in home runs. Robles starts to get himself ready. Now it's 2-0. Davis sitting on a good count. There's a shot toward right. Bruce gets back. Bruce makes the catch. Simeon tags. He'll head on in, and the A's take the 3-2 lead on the sacrifice fly by Chris Davis. That is his 66th RBI.
Well, the old saying, close your right side or your left side off, depending if you're a left or right-handed hitter. It's a right-hander, close the left side, hit the ball to center, to right field, biggest part of the field. That way you don't roll over and hit a ground ball, which is what the Mets were hoping for. JD, Chris Davis with the pitch outside. He's the one guy you can see the belt buckle, but still he can hit the ball so far. But he kind of has an inside outswing when he does open up. And you see his belt buckle.
So Matt Chapman, a couple of strikeouts so far tonight as he faces Mats for the 3rd time. This one tapped slowly up the third base line. Mats fires to first, and Chapman is retired, but the A's get a pair of runs, 3 hits, stolen base, and a sacrifice fly. So bottom of the 5th coming up. A's now lead it 3-2.
is brought to you by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition Petaluma. NPC athlete Lori Mathis is there to help you get in shape this summer.
So the A's now lead 3-2. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. Paul Blackburn, see what he does with this one-run lead. Take a look at Citi Field in the borough of Queens. So the first hitter here in the bottom of the 5th is T.J. Rivera, then Reyes and Darno against Blackburn. 3 hits allowed. The A's right-hander. No walks, no strikeouts. Softly hit toward right center. It's going to fall in front of Rajai Davis. So Rivera maybe off the end of that a little bit, but he'll take it. It's a leadoff single.
Well, there's a play Rajai Davis made in center field. Instead of trying to be a hero, he just conceded a base hit, trying to keep the double play in order. Reyes a tough hitter to double up, but this ball towards the end of the bat. See, a lot of guys will dive for a ball, end up letting the runner hitter get into scoring position. Rajai goes after it as hard as he can and comes up short, catches the ball, gets it back in. And smart play. Times when you don't catch the ball, turns out to be a good play.
Reyes goes after the first pitch and skies one down the left field line, foul. So 0-1. Reyes lined out to the center fielder Raj Davis, his first at bat. All started for Jose Reyes right here in New York. He is now 34 years old. Turned 34 in June. Dominican Republic. He was a star with the Mets. Then he went to Miami, Toronto, Colorado, and now back with the Mets for his 2nd season. But his first tenure with the Mets, full seasons of 05, 06, 07, 08, 09. He was terrific. Over 2,000 hits now, 2,045 in his career. It's this one to Simeon. Marcus has it to second for 1, back to first, not in time. Reyes can still run. The A's get the 1 out.
That's the important thing. Marcus Simeon, ball kind of jammed Reyes. Funny spin on it. Make sure he caught the ball, got the 1 out. If you get 2, that's fine, but very happy to get the 1, especially with the speed of Jose Reyes. He gets down the line quickly. Right. I'm thinking of Mark Burley and Jose Reyes with the Miami team. But they signed a bunch of free agents that year. Gave them a lot of money. No trade clauses. Oh, we're not going to trade. They did. But I know it was those 2 for sure. You know, Ozzie Guillen ended up managing it. But Mark Burley was not happy to be traded to Toronto along with Reyes, but Burley because he had some animals that weren't allowed in the province in Toronto. But now the Marlins are up for sale. The decision is supposed to be pretty close, I think.
Would think. It sounds like it. Up the middle. Simeon cannot quite get it. So Darno has a hit.
Smart play of the day. It's brought to you by your California Ford dealers. Well, this started the inning. That was in the 3rd with 2 outs, 3-0 count, and then 3-2. And then Steven Matz, a base hit to right field. And the very next pitch to Conforto was a home run. But this was the big one because Blackburn had retired 8 consecutive batters. So Curtis Granderson.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 on 1 out with the pitcher spot coming up.
And here's your difference in the National League. You have 9 9 hitters in the American League. You don't worry about the pitcher, but that's what happens here. Robles is going to be the pitcher coming into the 6th. That is the pitcher of record, and I got a base hit. I mean, it'll take me out of the game. Sometimes I think in the National League you've got to have thick skin because you may be taken out at inopportune times.
So here is Granderson, still a fairly dangerous hitter.
Yes, he is.
13 home runs, 37 RBIs. He's got 18 doubles, 3 triples. Batting average a little bit low at 224. Reyes at second, d'Arnaud at first. They want to know the count to Granderson.
The Grandy man can, according to John Sterling at Yankee Stadium. Played for the Yankees, acquired by the Yankees from the Tigers. Or Austin Jackson, I think it was. And they wanted some veteran status of a player in Yankee Stadium. They got Granderson. Not a bad left-handed hitter for Yankee Stadium either.
And Granderson, who will be a free agent after this year, I would think the Mets probably trade him. I don't know that they'll get a lot for him, but if you were a team in contention, Curtis Granderson would be a good veteran to have.
Fine. Yep.
He still hits the ball at the ballpark. Sitting on a 2-0 count. Be careful here. Takes a strike.
And off speed, got a good one. Three to the right side. They're expecting him to pull.
Kickoff, and getting back is Reyes. Reyes is being on the ground around second base.
And a good throw. Blackburn right into the runner.
So 2-1. On deck is Michael Conforto. Good pitch right on the outside corner. If he swings at it, he probably hits a ground ball to second base.
Yeah, you hope if he swings at it, he doesn't hit the ball to left field where they're playing him for the whole left side of the infield open. The speed of Reyes and Chapman way off the bag at third base. Still say that's awfully inviting, and Reyes actually pointing at Chapman, maybe to indicate that he's going to try it. That's a tough play for a catcher.
I think he went. No.
I agree with you. I thought he did.
So this becomes a big pitch in this ballgame.
Enough. I'd say Reyes is going to be running, and that's why think about the trailing runner. Usually a catcher will give a sign in this situation and say where he's going to be throwing, and if both runners take off, well, better to try to get d'Arnaud at second base if it's strike 3.
So really, for the first time tonight, the crowd getting into it as Conforto hit the home run. See if Reyes and d'Arnaud are on the move. They are not, and the ball is slowly hit. Rosales, tag, throw to first, not in time. So the runner, d'Arnaud, kind of stopped, did a little dance with Rosales, and that delayed the double play attempt just enough for Granderson to get to first.
d'Arnaud did not know which way to go, and since Rosie was in the base path, the defender has the right, and so he was trying to go to the right, to the left, and going to dance. Rosie got him, but Anderson still runs well. Got jammed. Ball not hit that hard. It's going to be tough to double up anyway. Rosie had to make sure he got the one. You know what's a bad play there is throw to second, get the runner there, the force, or throw to first, I mean, and then get the runner in the rundown. As long as Reyes doesn't try to score. Especially if the runner going to second stops halfway.
Here's Conforto. Conforto, very good young hitter. This is what he did in the third inning.
Change up that floated right back in the middle of the plate, and that was a big boy home run.
Conforto, an all-star for the first time this year. He was the lone Mets all-star representative. In for a strike, 1-1 the count. Conforto was the Mets' #1 draft pick in 2014, the 10th pick in that draft. So he really did not spend a whole lot of time in the minor leagues. Got to the big leagues just a year later, 2015.
We got Chapman in the 14 draft. Daniel Gossett also there. It does not take long. You play a few games in the minor leagues. If you're any good, you're going to be here.
In the dirt, nice block by Fig.
Josh Fegley, a couple in this at bat, blocking the balls in the dirt, especially with the runner at third. Fegley, great job of getting the catcher's mitt down and keeping the ball in front of him.
Reyes at third, Granderson at first. Just a touch outside, so now it's 3-1. On deck is Asdrubal Cabrera. Simeon playing right behind second base. That one is a strike. Sonia thought it was strike 3. It was not. He sort of gave a little apology, you could tell. It is a strike. 3-2. If he does that on a 2-strike call, what's he going to do?
Oh, I can't wait. I'd love to see it right now. Go with a breaking ball that backs up, doesn't break. He went 3-1 curveball. Got to be something off speed. He just rarely throws a fastball. Wow. Wow. Wow.
Be careful, Paul Blackburn. He almost bought.
Yes, he did.
Reyes could come 3/4 of the way down.
He did. He just did.
Oh, man, that was close. Be careful, Paul.
Yeah.
This one's hit in the air. Right center, shallow. And Rajay Davis makes the catch, side retired. So the Mets threaten but do not score. We're headed to the 6th, 3-2-8.
by StatMed, offering July sports physicals for just $35. Call 1-844-STAT-MED to get yours today.
So the A's leading 3-2, top of the 6th inning. Beautiful look at the Chrysler Building in Manhattan. Some A's fans. It's hot and humid.
It is.
He's sweating it out a little bit. He's all right.
Eat sunflower seeds. Ready to go.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. The new pitcher is Hansel Robles, 4-1 with an ERA of 6.17. So a very high ERA. He's really the long reliever for the Mets. Hansel Robles.
And long reliever and a disappointed, upset starting pitcher in Steven Matz. He was removed for a pinch hitter. And right now, the A's would like to pin him with a loss as he sits and a little bit upset. Robles got a split change that he throws along with the fastball and the slider. Sinker slider, which is typical for a reliever.
First pitch to Robles is outside. First pitch to Joyce from Robles is outside. So Matt's 83 pitches into 5 innings.
'83 pitches, an awful lot of pitches in 5 innings. Robles is the type of pitcher you don't want to help him out by swinging the pitches out of the strike zone, and he just did.
Paul Sewald starts to throw. Is that a bad thing that the reliever you just brought in has thrown 2 pitches and you already have somebody warming up in the bullpen?
And he's a right-hander too.
He's a right-hander. Yeah.
It's not
so
like
it's not a situational thing.
It's not like it's Blevins coming in.
So if Robles looks out in the bullpen, he sees
former Milwaukee Brewer Ricky Bonet. Ricky Bones.
Yeah.
Bonet, the bullpen coach. He's a Brewer for a while.
Good pitch there, 2-2. Joyce, a ground out and a single. First place Astros are in Baltimore tonight, and they are leading 5-1 in the 5th inning with the Orioles.
Orioles are playing better. The A's will eventually see them. May take a while, but they will see them.
At some point. That's the first of a 3-game series in Baltimore.
Look at the location. See how Darno had to go back and pick up the ball that was way off target, but it looked like it's right down the middle of the plate. But the fact that he almost fell down trying to catch it, kind of hard for Sonia to call it.
So 3-2 to Joyce, Gonzalez to follow, and then Figley. High pop up. Cespedes coming in. Cespedes has it. So Joyce is retired on the 3-2 pitch. I'm not going to be happy in this series unless Cespedes does the underhand throw.
Yeah, I know. That one he just threw in the chest of Reyes. That's why he was.
You got to have that good, solid underhand fast pitch throw.
Yeah, softball.
He'll do it for us. Rangers and the Rays are playing in St. Petersburg. That game 1-1 in the 6th. We'll keep an eye on those two. And this is why this time of year, Ray, is so hard too. You know, all this trade talk, which is fine, but for a general manager to decide what his team is going to do in the final 2 months, when you're making a prediction.
That's right.
Should I buy or should I sell?
That's right.
And the reason I bring that up now is because we just mentioned the Orioles, who are losing tonight. But 2 weeks ago, the Orioles were playing terrible.
That's right. Yeah.
They're out. They're selling.
Yeah.
Well, now they've won 4 in a row, and they're like kind of, sort of on the fringe of it. So what do you do?
Yeah, you're right.
Texas Rangers, the same thing. Remember, the Rangers were like, hey, and they're still in it. I mean, but a week ago, they were games away from out of the wild card. Well, now they've lost 5 in a row.
Well, and also Yu Darvish's name has surfaced as a possible trade Of course, the starting pitchers, all of them are being mentioned.
Rosales strikes out. But it's just a tough job because as a general manager, you need to decide if your team is good enough to go for it and become buyers, or you become sellers.
That's why it's a little surprising that the Twins are playing very good baseball in the Central Division of the American League. Irvin Santana has been bannered around all season. And here's a team that you'd think with the #1 starter, and that seems to be what everybody's looking for, a top of the rotation starter. But here the Twins have thrown his name out there and have for quite a while. That they're thinking about going young. He's a pretty good pitcher. Somebody would like it.
But if you look at, and we showed you the wild card standings a couple innings ago, but if you look at these wild card teams, the Rays, the Yankees, the Twins, the Royals, the Mariners, even the Angels are only 3 games out.
Right.
Is there one team there that really jumps out where you're going to say they're the best of the group?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Fegley finds the gap. He's going to try for 2. No, he's not. Puts on the brakes.
Fegley's just happy to get on base in front of Blackburn, so Blackburn's not leading off next inning. So this is the first inning that Fegley's been able to get a hit. 2 previous at bats, he made outs, and that meant Blackburn. He went outside and got a slider, pulled it to the left center. Glad he did not try for 2. When Cespedes was waiting, his reputation, though, has come out very strongly in the advanced meetings. Like Willie Mays, run hard, you slide, stop. Willie and Fegley, huh?
So here is Paul Blackburn. Blackburn, a strikeout and a ground out.
Well, Blackburn's got to be saying, now, I'm happy because I've gotten 3 at bats tonight. That means you're pitching well. If you've got 3 ABs.
If you get 3 ABs, it's good. If you get 4, it's great.
Oof.
Strike.
Yeah, Matz gets a base hit on a 3-2 fastball. Scores in front of a 2-run home run. He gone. I guess Terry Collins did not think he was going to get another hit. Probably right.
1-2 the count to Blackburn.
Blackburn has a nice setup. You know, it almost reminds you of Evan Longoria with a slightly open stance with the left foot.
Yeah, just a very small little bit.
Yeah, that's about all he reminds me of. Because the pitches he's got from Robles, if it was Longoria.
Evan Longoria, if you're watching, we apologize.
No, there's a very small similarity. Just the stance only.
Gotta go to break, Ray. Gotta go to break.
Brought to you by Provident Credit Union Super Reward Checking. We pay you.
Three to two, the A's lead the Mets. It is the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, the A's Insider Podcast is back at NBCSportsCalifornia.com. It's brought to you by Max Muscle. Log on each week as our A's Insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests, and more.
And broadcasters.
And well, occasionally, but
Playing
actually
Piper?
never. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. The latest guest is that man, the fine young left-hander Sean Manaea, who's going to pitch tomorrow night.
Can you believe Joe was in our booth? And he first, as he sat down, he apologized for not having you on. He's been listening. I think you'd be a great candidate. You know,
I think you would be really
Joe, when you run out of time and everybody else come calling, huh?
I think you would be even better. Just telling some of those stories. 73 World Series. Be great. I'm going to talk to Joe about getting you on. Maybe like a double podcast, like 2 of them, right? 2 20-minute installations.
I want to go talk to Howie Rose on the radio side. He's the one that was a fan watching the Mets in '73. Now he broadcasts for the Mets. What a life. The great Howie Rose.
Paul Blackburn. Who needs strikeouts when you're
Right.
Paul Blackburn? He doesn't have any, and he's been pitching fine. Just the home run to Conforto.
Only difference tonight in the start he had in Seattle when he did not strike out a batter. He's thrown a lot more pitches tonight. A lot more being the man who grew up a Mets fan. Now he broadcasts for the Mets, the great Howie Rose. An interview with him years ago when they were in Oakland, and first thing he said, he didn't tag Harrelson. He said, Howie, get over it. It's been a long time. I think it's time that you stop talking about it. And Howie was a Mets fan, and he said he was freezing to death in Game 3. It was cold.
2-2 pitch is high to Asdrubal Cabrera. Bruce to follow, and then Cespedes. So 2, 3, and 4 hitters for Blackburn. It's not cold tonight. It is warm and humid.
This is not a fastball, folks, on 3-2.
Misses high, so a leadoff walk.
Got under it a little bit.
That's the first walk for Blackburn.
Well, you flirt around with 3-2 pitches a lot, and you're going to end up with that. Only lefty for the A's in their bullpen. Daniel Coulombe's getting loose. In case his wife's listening, his name is Danny. She doesn't like Daniel for some reason.
We just say what they tell us to say.
I know. So we go Daniel Danny. Dick Callahan calls him Daniel.
Does he? Oh,
Now
good.
pitching Daniel Coulombe.
That's the final answer. So 1-0 to Jay Bruce. So a couple of big power hitters coming up with Bruce and Cespedes, and after that, Duda. Blackburn needs to be sharp. Bruce fouls on left side.
Was it Bruce last year when Daniel Minga made his major league debut and almost hit one out of park in
Cincinnati?
Wait,
Yeah.
it wasn't a cheapie.
Yeah, he hit it into a different state, Kentucky.
If there'd been a river out there, it'd have gone in it. Splashed out. Crunched it.
Bruce swings over top. Bruce having a good year. 24 home runs, 63 RBIs, and he will be a free agent.
They've been battled around as far as trades. And
it's like every year with this
exactly,
guy. Right?
yeah.
Jay Bruce, he's a very good player. But the Reds traded him to the Mets last year, right around the trade deadline. And the Mets hold on. He will be a free agent. Swing and a miss. First strikeout's a big one. Bruce chases a high fastball.
You know, Terry Collins, again, he's talking about the guys going to be free agents. This may be an example of what happens, maybe doing a little bit too much instead of just playing your natural game. He's so powerful, but he's swung a changeup out of the dirt or out of the strike zone down, close to the dirt. This fastball up and away. And I don't know, guys, as free agents maybe try to put up big numbers, or in some cases they I don't know. They just do things that aren't normal.
Here's Cespedes. First pitch is low. Remember, Cespedes 2 off seasons ago signed a 3-year contract with the Mets, but it had an opt-out after 1 year, which really basically means it's a 1 year. So after last year, he was a free agent again, and Mets and him agreed on a very long-term contract in November of this past offseason. 4 years, $110 million. Cespedes got the big payday he wanted.
Yeah, I think he got the contract initially 3 at 75. Yeah. With an opt-out after 1, so 25 he made the first year, and then opted out and goes to the 110.
So you can say 5 years, 135 is
exactly
about what he's combined 2 contracts with the Mets.
Wonder how big of a garage he has. He's got to have a big one of all the cars.
He's got to have a. It's probably more than a garage. It's probably a parking structure. Lays off 3-1. I pitch careful and to this guy every single time. On deck is Lucas Duda.
You would think that he has become more patient. 3-2, 3-0, 3-1 now.
Not that time. It was Blackburn threw it down and away. Cespedes went after it. So may have been looking for something else on 3-1, and he went after it.
Yeah, it's a hard slider out of the strike zone, and not a bad idea to do it again. As long as it's close enough that it looks like a strike.
Let's play Cespedes a little bit toward right center, just a shade. Rajai Davis, but you also see Chris Davis, the left fielder, very far off the line.
Which would indicate they're going to pitch him away, try to get him to roll over. It is a slider. Don't get under it, get on top of it, take it out of the strike zone again.
Oh. And he hung it, and you just can't do that to Cespedes as he lines one into left field.
That he just got a single. That ball had crushed it all over it.
Cespedes is 2 for 3 with a couple of singles. Watch this one hang.
Yeah, this is a hanger. It's the last one he's going to throw. Looks like Coulomb is going to come in to face Duda. And man, is that lucky that he just got on top of it enough to hit it in one hop to Chris Davis. So hard that runner at first could not get to third.
So Blackburn is gone after 5 1/3. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. Face the Sounders in Seattle. Oh boy. They love their soccer up in Seattle. The home of the authentic Earthquakes fan is NBC Sports California. They do. They have huge crowds up there at Westfield. So that'll be a good one to watch Sunday at 7:30.
They are so big that when the Mariners are in town, you hope you can get to the park before the masses go over to the soccer match.
We've been there where the game just ended and our bus could not get to the parking lot.
Daniel Coulomb comes in to try to get the big out, and he only left to the bullpen, and Bob Melvin knows that for Daniel Coulomb, it's the opportunity now to try to do it. Of course, he's got good splits, which means that he likes and can face righties and get them out, so this may be more than just the one batter. If he gets the double play, that would be huge.
So Cabrera and Cespedes are your runners. Mets stranded a couple of runners in the 5th. Trinan starts to throw. Both the bullpens are out in right center field, right next to each other. Duda fouls it left side.
Blake Trinan for the Athletics getting loose. Of course, he's very familiar with the Eastern Division of the National League and the member of the Washington Nationals.
Probably pitched here many times and probably pitched in some big games. If you think about the Mets and the Nationals. 76 pitches for Blackburn. So he's got a chance to get a win. Blackburn could cover it all here, Ray. He could get a win. He could get a loss. He could get a no decision.
That's right.
Daniel Colomb's done a good job with inherited runners. He's got 2 out there. On deck is TJ Rivera, who's a right-handed hitter. Duda 0 for 2. That one grounded, and it hits Healy in the face. Duda is going to be safe, and the bases are loaded. And Healy is down. Well, you could see that ball take a bad hop, and it looked like it may have hit him in the face.
Good effort by Adam Rosales.
He immediately kind of put his right hand up to maybe the side of his face or his ear area.
Yeah, turn to the side a little bit. And
he's angled a little bit right in the ear.
Oof. And the temple too. That's not. It's a scary area. That's why hitters wear the ear flaps. And
so Healy is obviously going to come out. Yonder Alonso will come into the game. So a very scary moment for the A's. It's good to see Healy walking off, but he's also walking off very slowly.
well, Bob Melvin, no hesitation. Come off. That's it. He's going to the bullpen to try, and it is a one batter appearance.
So we indeed do have a new pitcher. Trinan coming in. The bases are loaded, 1 out with TJ Rivera as the hitter. Saturday, July 29th. Witches and Wizards take over the ballpark for fireworks presented by Xfinity. Following the Twins-A's game at 6:05, fans can come down to the field for a night of considerable magic and glee. Fireworks full of witches and wizards. What could be more enchanting? For tickets, visit athletics.com/tickets. So some tense moments here, and we also hope that Ryan Healy's okay. So it's 3-2. The bases are loaded, 1 out. Blake Trinan comes in. Those are the combined numbers, and he faces TJ Rivera. So the game is on the line, even though it's only the 6th inning.
Such a different game in the National League for Bob Melvin. Fortunately, managing the National League, so he's familiar with the National League parks. Trying to make the right move, trying to get out of the inning.
First pitch, swing and a miss. So Colon faces just the one hitter. Cabrera at third, Cespedes at second, Duda at first. Rivera has grounded out and he has singled.
I know the good sinking fastball that he just threw, and trying to get the hitter to hit on top of the ball, maybe trying to double play to get out of the inning. So with the best case scenario, 1, 2, 3 double play, inning over. Don't have to worry about up the middle, and going to hit a run down and try to avoid being doubled up.
Trinan's ready. Ball spins inside and the count is 2-1. Grounded up the middle, base hit center field. 1 run scores. They're going to wave Cespedes. They're going to throw to third, and he is out at third. Throw to second. It goes into right field, and nobody's there. And this is not good. Rivera's going to round third, and he's going to come in to score. Right field was just left vacated, and the runner comes all the way around to score. So 2 runs come in on the base hit. Duda is the runner that was thrown out at third, and TJ Rivera goes all the way around to score the 3rd run on the play.
Fastball right back up the middle, and Matt Chapman with the out at third base. He had him out by so much. And Rajay going to third. He wanted to go after him, catch and throw, and try to get a double play at second. Bounce the ball, and because really he throws so hard, once it got past second base into right field. Sometimes it's better just to be happy with the 1 instead. Wow, that's a big run too.
So it's obviously an E5. It's also a single and 2 RBI.
Well, the leadoff walk comes around to score, and really ill-advised play going to third base for Duda, but also ill-advised throw by Matt Chapman, throwing the ball to second into right field. And he's so accurate with his throws. Normally that ball went straight into the ground.
Reyes hits it hard. Rosales has it on the first side, retired, but the Mets scored 3 times in the bottom of the 6th. So just like that, Mets lead 5-3. Live. Ray, I'm going to make sure that you keep an eye on Matt Joyce here. Now, obviously, nobody was in right field on the throw from Chapman, but the reason is Matt Joyce is going over to maybe back up Rajai Davis, who's charging.
Yeah.
And that's why Matt Joyce is not in right field. See, so Matt Joyce didn't do anything wrong.
No, he didn't. If Rajai is not charging the ball, maybe Matt Joyce stays, and he's saying, my fault, but you know, he tried to get two, and I mean, the bottom line is 2-run single. That put the Mets ahead. It's just that the error able the Mets to take a 2-run lead versus a 1-run lead.
So the new pitcher is Paul Sewald. It's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Oil change, tune-up, and brake expert. So Sewald pitching here in the 7th inning. Hansel Robles with a good inning. 1 inning, a couple of strikeouts. So Robles looked good. Robles has a chance to now get the win. So 1 and 2, Rajai Davis followed by Simeon and then Yonder Alonso. So, tapped slowly, first base, and a triple stop. Rajai's had a good ball game, a couple of hits, a couple of runs scored.
It's amazing. Paul Blackburn walks 1 batter, comes around to score. Leading off the end. Cupped bat, probably got it off the end of the bat, which means it's broken. It's cupped, that's what happens. As he's checking his new bat, make sure that it is not fractured also.
Darno sets up inside, and that's where the pitch goes.
Primarily a fastball pitcher, they see Wald. He will throw a slider and a changeup, but greater percentage of the time it will be fastballs. Drop down.
Like that.
Can't fool Rajai, though.
So 3 and 2 the count. And that one is just a touch high. So Rajai Davis is aboard for the 3rd time.
Rajai is a beauty, and it just drops his bat, throws his bat actually after the walk.
It's the first walk issued by a Mets pitcher.
Yeah, that's good.
So here's Marcus Semien, who's had a big night. He's 3 for 3. 3 singles, an RBI, and a run score.
Yonder Alonso's taken on to the 3rd spot. Look at the top 3 hitters for the A's. A lot of production. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. First 3, that's counts Healy, who was out of the game. But it works out fine because Yonder now with the right-hander on the mound, he will come in and he's actually going to face the right-hander as a lefty.
Rajai Davis, his stolen base in the 5th inning actually was reviewed and overturned. Usually was called out. It was his 18th steal of the year. Simeon, left center field. Cespedes back. Cespedes with room. He's got it. Rajai Davis is going to try for second base, and he's going to make it with a head-first slide. So Rajai hustled back to tag up. So he gets himself into scoring position with some aggressive base running.
Might as well test him, and normally that would not be the case, but once Rajai saw the ball was going to be caught, back to first base, and it's you got the great arm, throw it. And Rajai The head first slide, stayed on the bag with his right and left foot. Got himself in the scoring position. That's heads up base running. You have that kind of speed. Important thing is once you see the ball is caught. It's going to be caught anyway. Stay in play. Go back and tag.
And here's Yonder Alonso. First at bat for the A's All-Star. 273 is Alonso's average. 21 homers, 45 RBIs. 15 doubles. Two and 0. A's come in with a 43-52 record. Playing a little better lately. They've had an 8-4 record in their last 12 games. Their goals for the second half is play better on the road as well. They've started to do that a little bit. Jay Davis dancing around. Pitches outside, 3-0.
Maybe dancing around enough that Sewald looked at him and then tried to hurriedly throw the plate, never finished. And is the old Senator, Jerry Blevins, the tall lefty. Talk about a situational lefty. The numbers he has put up this year.
That one on the outside corner.
And Blevins is up. I mean, with all the lefty and righties in the lineup, but he's up in the event. Bob Melvin decided to go to his bench. And that's more of a decoy than anything for Blevins and for the Mets. For Cam Watson, the pitching coach to your left, Terry Collins, the manager.
And the 3-1 pitch is low. So the A's have a couple of runners on. And Sewald has walked a pair here in the 7th. And now Chris Davis steps up. Davis tied for 6th in the American League in RBIs with his, what is 66 now, thanks to his sacrifice fly in the 5th inning.
Well, Chris Davis is at the plate. Both runners in scoring position, but don't be surprised if Rajay gets a big jump. Cabrera at second is going to try to keep him close. yeah,
he had one for a little bit, and then Sewald turned around.
Rajay throughout his career has done exactly that. He doesn't stay still at second base, first base, any base. He's always dancing around, and you never know what he might try to do. There's a quick pitch from the pitcher.
You know what strikes me with Rajay too, Ray, is he is not afraid on the base.
Nope. And that's exactly what Ricky Henderson preaches. He said never be afraid. Exactly. The greatest of all time, Ricky Henderson would say, just get on, and if you can disrupt the pitcher's concentration, you're going to do that. If you can steal a base, do it. You're right. No fear.
1-1 the count.
And the key now with Chris Davis to get a pitch because Sewald's hurrying, and his concern about Rajay at second may result in a 3-run home run off the bat of Chris Davis. Be a thing of beauty.
Darno through the signs, takes a glance. For a strike, 1-2. Chapman on deck.
A little drop down and right on the corner. Tailing action coming back with velocity.
Both runners dancing around. Toward right field, Bruce into the corner. Bruce with just enough room, and he makes the catch. So Rajay Davis speeds into third. And now there are 2 outs. So Bruce went into the corner to make that catch.
Well, feeling for the wall, and it just stayed up. Did not have enough to get out. Almost did. Almost the 3-run, but not quite enough. But Bruce making the catch. Rajay tagging once the ball went into foul territory. Getting to third base, and he was thinking about scoring. If Bruce did not get the ball back in quickly, Rajay was going to keep running.
So it's up to Matt Chapman, who's 0 for 3. Good time for his first hit. First pitch, slider, first strike. It was called a strike. Didn't have to be called a strike. Swing and a miss. A good fastball from Sewald, and with the 3/4 delivery, there's probably some late action on it. So Chapman behind in the count, 0-2. Runners at first and third. You see the catcher go through some signs just to make sure that he and his infielders are all on the same page. If the runner at first would take off.
Well, the sign should be, if he takes off, I'm going to throw. Because you have a 2-run lead, you would not want to let the tying run get to second base by not throwing. If he does take off, which he's probably not.
Sewald delivers outside. 22 pitches for Sewald here in the 7th inning. The Mets closer is Addison Reed. Taking over for Familia. Popped up near the mound. Rivera, the third baseman, grabs it side, retired. So the A's threaten, do not score. It's the 7th inning stretch from Citi Field in New York. 5-3, Mets lead the A's.
Brought to you by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By AAA, what does your insurance do when it's not doing insurance? It should do more. Go to AAA.com for more details. And by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica.
So Mets lead the A's 5-3. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. So just back from the minor leagues, Frankie Montas comes in. So he pitched in 21 games before being sent down to the minor leagues. When he was down there, pitched in 7 games. He actually started 6 games. That was more about just kind of refining more than one pitch.
Yeah, he worked more on the two-seam fastball, the changeup, not so much the slider. Got a good fastball, upper 90s.
So d'Arnaud, and then the pitcher spot. That's Matt Reynolds, who is going to hit in that spot. And then leadoff man Conforto. So the A's trailing by 2. The Mets with 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Good slider, but it's a little low. Red Sox and the Angels will play the first of 3 tonight in Anaheim. Chris Sale for Boston. He's 11-4. He'll be opposed by Ricky Nolasco, who is 4-8. Alonso comes down the line, and Alonso makes the catch. So d'Arnaud is retired. And that'll bring up Matt Reynolds, backup infielder. Jerry Blevins continues to throw for the Mets, so looks like we may see him in the 8th inning.
Matt George to lead off for the Athletics. He's the scheduled leadoff hitter.
So Curtis Granderson pinch hit in the 5th inning, pitcher spot, and now Reynolds pinch hits in the pitcher spot here in the 7th. No swing, says Brian Gorman. Yankees and the Mariners will play game 2 of their 4-game series in Seattle. That'll start in about 45 minutes. Sabathia, CC Sabathia, will take an 8-3 record into that start. Yankees won last night 4-1 in Seattle. Mariners coming into today 2 games back of the Yankees for that second wild card spot. So that's an important series if there can be one in July.
Talked about Aaron Judge maybe getting everything back, but how about him playing catch with the fan in right field? I mean, that had to be a big thrill for the fan who will never forget it. Playing catch with Aaron Judge.
Yep. Astros leading the Orioles 8-1 in the 8th inning. Rays leading the Rangers 3-1 in the 8th. Rays are the #1 wild card team. 3-2 pitch, a touch high, and it's a walk to Reynolds. So now the top of the order, Michael Conforto. The Mets record coming into this game is 43-50. Certainly a disappointing season for the Mets after making the postseason and actually going all the way to the World Series in 2015. And then last year making it as the #1 wild card team. So it's been to the postseason 2 years in a row.
Terry Collins, the manager last year in the All-Star game in San Diego, maybe he and Ned Yost, the last managers ever to manage a game that means something in the All-Star game for home field advantage.
Oh, 0-1 to Conforto, and that one past Fegley. Reynolds will go to second base. So a free 90 feet for the Mets.
Probably a pass ball. It just one that scooted away from Josh Fegley off his catcher's mitt.
See, that should be a pass ball.
Yeah.
So a runner at second base. And the Mets last year were 87-75. They lost the wild card game for the Giants right here in New York. Seemed like in 2015 when they made it to the World Series, they went up against a Royals team that just were not going to be denied.
It's
after
true.
they lost in 2014.
They had a second baseman named Daniel Murphy who up until the World Series couldn't get him out. But a little bit different in the World Series. It's usually something that happens, unfortunately, in series to series.
Fouled right at the plate. So you can see why the expectations were high for the Mets. I mean,
Sure.
listen, it's really not that hard to figure out. Got the shin of Josh Phegley. When you go into a season with your rotation of Syndergaard, Harvey, DeGrom, wait for Matz a little bit, but you also had, you still do, you have Wheeler. Just look at their team when it's healthy. It's a pretty good team.
Yeah.
But they just have not been able to make it. That one is lined to right. That's trouble, and that's gone. A 2-homer game for Michael Conforto. That's why he's an all-star, folks. And that makes it 7-3.
The pitch is by Frankie Montas, and he did it to walk the batter. And look at that pitch. That is a slider. When you're throwing mid to upper 90s, and that's what they were saying. The slider's a good pitch, okay, but man, you're throwing the slider right into the wheelhouse of a left-handed hitter. And this is a line drive at 89. That's like batting practice almost. But the slider coming into the left-hander swing. It's not surprising that it ends up being a 2-home run game.
So 18 home runs now for Conforto on the season. So
he walked Reynolds on sliders. He threw him a couple.
first pitch fastball, a strike to Cabrera. Still only one out here in the bottom of the 7th. So 3 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th. So Conforto, for the 3rd time this year, hits 2 home runs in a game. Right on the outside corner. That's a good fastball.
That's exactly right. And that's sometimes you want to try to trick somebody. You take less of a pitch velocity wise and really helping the hitter.
Slider there, and that's probably where he wanted to throw it to.
You can do that. That's fine. With a good heart and downward movement. That's the key. And at 90. The other 89 that was hit out by Conforto was kind of a flat slider coming in to the swing of Conforto.
Here's Bruce. Jay Bruce. Bruce is 0 for 3. He is grounded out, lined out, and struck out. Phegley coming back. Phegley's going to run out of room. Drops the 3rd row right behind home plate and takes a big bounce. Those are the special seats here at Citi Field. Just like Yankee Stadium. Comfortable, padded,
Expensive.
expensive. Usually goes hand in hand.
If you can eat a lot of food, good luck. And the restaurant behind home plate, which is nice.
0-2 pitch again fouled. Montas coming at him with the good fastball. Rangers tied up that game in the top of the 9th inning in St. Petersburg. It's now 3-3. And Jay Bruce went around, tried to hold up, couldn't do it. So Michael Conforto, well, he's doing his thing. His second home run of the game, this one a 2-run shot, 7-3 Mets.
Plus field level tickets for the Sunday, July the 30th day game. It's against the Twins. Everyone in your group will receive a limited edition Big Three bobblehead featuring Barry Zito, Tim Hudson, and Mark Mulder. A group package is the only way to secure one of these amazing baubles. Visit athletics.com/group today. That's athletics.com/group.
Mets 7 A's 3. First game of this 3-game interleague series. Mets go to their 4th pitcher. It's Eric Goodell, another right-hander. So he'll take over here in the 8th inning.
I guess the 2-run home run by Conforto took Jerry Blevins out of the pack.
That's probably true. Goodell, just his 11th appearance. So it'll be Joyce, Rosales, and Fegley. It's hit very hard into right field. A base hit.
Bring in Blevins.
Matt Joyce is 2 for 4. There's no question Matt Joyce has found a groove playing every day.
Well, he hits down in the order with lefties. Probably see him in leading off tomorrow on Sunday. Fastball, staying back, and basically need to play every day, which he's getting a chance to do that now. Olson's going to pinch hit for Adam Rosales.
Rosales was 1 for 3 in the ball game. The A's have used Olson and Alonso off the bench. Alonso had to come in for the injured Healy. We have not heard a report on Ryan Healy. If you're just joining us, who was in the 6th inning. Lucas Duda hit a ground ball. It was a hard hit ball. It took a bad hop and it came up and it hit Healy. Looked like in the left side of the head, maybe the upper ear area, the temple area, but it was a little scary. He immediately left the game. He did walk off on his own. This is it right here.
Turned to the side, ball came up and hit him on the left side. It's scary. And he pointed the head, and of course in the temple area is where it's really scary. Any place on the head.
Nope. Hope he's okay. If you hear anything, we'll certainly pass it on. So here is Olson behind in the count 0-1. Fegley to follow. Olson just brought back to the big leagues. So he's getting those frequent flyer miles from Nashville.
Yes, he is. Not on a charter either.
No, it's not.
What he's seeing from Goodell, a couple of curveballs. One probably wasn't a strike. The second one, middle of the plate.
Now 1-2 to Olson. So Olson in Chicago hit his first big league home run. It ended up being a 2-homer game. It was a fun series in Chicago. He's a 3-game sweep of the White Sox, part of this stretch where they're playing a little bit better on the road. They're 6-4 in their last 10 road games. They're trying to stretch that out a little bit longer, but it won't be easy on this trip with 3 here and then 4 in Toronto.
Bregman, a natural lefty. Jed Lowry, switch hitter. I have to think Jerry Blevins is still a possibility if the A's decide to go to the bench.
2-2 pitch, foul tip, hung on by Darno. So Olson strikes out. 1 away here in the top of the 8th.
Pull the string after a couple of breaking balls, really threw everything soft. Any consequence, a couple of breaking balls, a curve balls, and a changeup to finish him off.
So here's Fegley for his 4th at bat. He's 1 for 3. Lowry has come out into the on deck circle. That's the pitcher spot.
And he's a switch hitter, so it doesn't matter who comes in. If Blevins does, he could turn around. Doesn't even have to change helmets since he has the double ear flap.
Fegley has struck out, grounded out, and then he got that single in the 6th inning. Driven to center. Conforto gets turned around, and that's over his head, and he dives, can't get it. Joyce is going to be held at third as Conforto, even though he went down, he did get up quickly and got the ball back in quickly. But Fegley with a long double, and the A's have second and third.
Well, it's amazing how quickly he got up because Joyce got to second base, and he could only go 90 more feet. But especially with Conforto going back, falling down, popped up quickly. An amazing thing. Watch how quickly he pops up, hits, and comes straight up and gets the ball. And the A's down 4 did not want to take a chance. Conforto, a nice play, especially after getting turned around a little bit. Couple of hits for Josh Fegley.
So good opportunity for Lowry to get the A's back in the game. Don Warthen is out, the pitching coach, chatting with Eric Goodell. Don Warthen showing excellent hustle. Getting off the field. So you see Blevins on the right, and now the closer, Addison Reed, is up.
Well, it'd be great for the A's to pick up a couple of runs here, try to keep it going. It's a home run by Conforto, his second, of course, the year. An unearned run plus then 2 more to score instead of the 1-run game. And those are the little things that end up being big in a ball game.
.270 with 10 home runs for Lowry. 28 doubles, a couple of triples on the season. Trying to get a pair home here. Nasty changeup by Goodell.
Yeah, he's got a good one.
Looks like he'll throw it at any count, too.
Goodell a little bit taller than Eddie Goodell, who pinch hit in Chicago many years ago.
Not as powerful as Roger Goodell. Not as rich either.
Exactly. Another change.
Lowry reaching for that one. His career as a pinch hitter, 10 for 34. He does have a home run.
But that 9 walks. You don't see that often. First of all, Lowry usually is an everyday player. He's not going to pinch hit that much, but it's quite a few at bats for an everyday player.
And Forno shifted a little bit toward left center field. That time a fastball. So you just got to believe that changeup's coming.
Yes, exactly. You might as well sit on it too. A's batting cage is just down the hall in the clubhouse, so any pinch hitter is able to take some swings and get off the tee. Marcus Jensen usually is the one that goes up in the cage. That's the kind of stadium you like, one that's close to the dugout, so you can stay loose as a pinch hitter.
Fastball away.
Here it comes, guy.
Calling it.
It's his best pitch.
Rajai Davis will be next.
First or third sign, it's a changeup.
It's hit, just foul. Good call by Ray Fawcett. Now, you got to tell me, is he going to throw it again?
I'd back it up. Only because it seems to be the pitch that he has the best control. And as a catcher, you recognize that because the fastball is running away. Jed Lowry has already said, I remember asking him a couple years ago, he said it's hard to sit soft with anybody that has a good fastball. And the outside indicator would indicate a pitch. Second sign, it's a changeup again. Fastball that time.
Pretty good pitch down and in a little bit. Down enough where Lowry, it looked good to him, but he just could not get underneath it. So Eric Goodell trying to get out of trouble here, and the A's trying to close the gap, down 7-3. Here it is, and it's lined to center field, a base hit. 1 run scores. Fagley's going to be held up. So it looked like another changeup, and Lowry stayed with it and lined it to center, and now it's a 7-4 game.
That's a big league at bat by the veteran Jed Lowry. You can see the grip in the glove by Goodell, and Jed Lowry almost as if he said, "You're going to throw it, I'm going to go get it." He got it up middle. Just hit it too hard for Fagley to be able to score a pitch, maybe even out of the strike zone. Fagley at second got a good jump, but you're down 4. Make it 3. You don't want to run into an out.
So indeed a pitching change. Goodell out. See who's coming in. It's going to be the closer.
Well, for every Tuesday home game, to every Tuesday night home game, the ballpark gates are now open at 4:30 p.m. Plus, parking is free as part of Chevy Free Parking Tuesdays. Come to the park early, enjoy BP, and make a lasting memory. Something that's always fun to do. Watch batting practice.
That's a beautiful look outside Citi Field.
How much they paid for that sign?
Looks like Ebbets Field.
Yeah, it does.
All right, here's Addison Reed. He is the closer, folks. 16 for 18. Oh, he's going to foul to get a piece of the catcher. Certainly looked like it.
Yeah, I know, straight off the catcher's mask. He turned around. Really didn't affect him that much, it seemed, as he went down. And just strong legs stayed up and said, give me another baseball. I think.
Jay Bruce headed over toward the line, but he'll watch it sail into the seat. So it's 0-2. So Addison Reed, 4 saves of 4 or more outs. So that's pretty good. And if he's going to get a save tonight, he's going to need to get 5 outs.
He took over the closer role in Chicago. He's traded, what, to the Diamondbacks? Big trade. And so he's had the experience in the bullpen as a closer, setup man.
What a play by Travis d'Arnaud.
I guess the ball off his mask didn't affect him because he moves very nicely on this hard slider. And you anticipate, got his body in front, got the glove down, and d'Arnaud with an excellent play.
So 1-2 the count. That one's low. Reed with the White Sox in 11, 12, 13, 14. I take that back. 11, 12, 13, and then traded to the Diamondbacks. A year and a half in Arizona, and then in 2015 got traded to the Mets. Rajai Davis has 2 singles, a walk, a couple of runs scored. Some strong A's fans making their presence felt.
Different uniform colors and years.
Rajai checks way. Well, the crowd tonight, 26,969, but it's really been pretty quiet.
See, he made that cap himself. He's got a green lid, and he put the A's logo on it with the white shoes and a swinging A's. I think that either that or that logo is too big for the hat. Either way, it looks good.
Rajai lays off, ball bounces out in front of home plate.
That's a great take. That's from 0-2 to 3-2. Laying off the slider, and a huge hole on the right side. Rajai, they beat you out there. Get a base hit, drive in a run, and go first and third.
Begley at third, Lowry at first. So an opportunity for the A's with a run already in. Here's the payoff pitch, and he missed outside, and the bases are loaded.
Well, I tell you, Rajai Davis is hot. I mean, recognizing every pitch. I mean, that's as close as you're ever going to see a pitch taken by a hitter. Just off the plate. And just barely off the plate. Maybe it had a little cut action instead of a 2-seam action. Where the heck is that? That's what he's saying. It's off the plate. Well, big hit right now. It's Rajai's speed. Marcus Semien, have a great night. 3 hits. Deep fly ball to left field. Now, if he hits a gap, the A's have a tie game.
First pitch to Marcus. Line drive, right field, base hit. Bruce gets it on 1 hop. 1 run is going to score. Lowry will stop. And now it's 7-5.
You know who's going to be in the bullpen tracking pitches every day for the rest of the season? Marcus Semien.
It's working.
Absolutely. That's 4 knocks. And even better, 3 up the middle, 1 to right field. And this is a great at bat. 2 former White Sox players. Semien and Reed. That pitch got a lot of the plate that maybe Reed didn't want. Marcus Semien opposite field. And can only score the 1 run, but he'll take it.
Terry Collins is coming out.
He's going to. Wow. He's going to Blevins eventually. Huh? Reed is going to join Steven Matz.
Well, the Mets closer used here in the 8th inning. He faces a couple of batters, and he's coming out. So Blevins is coming in to face Yonder Alonso. Reed still not happy. We'll be back. Voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. So the A's have scored twice. They got the bases loaded with 1 out, and they are in a pretty good spot here to maybe tie this thing up or take the lead. Blevins comes in to face Alonso.
Look at the numbers. 29 2/3 innings, 42 Ks. Think he's not a specialist? And right now, Terry Collins is hoping his specialist can get the all-star of the Athletics out. Sinker slider. Big curveball right there. He's got it. They started at the hitter, get him to buckle the knees. A challenge for Alonso, who's 0 for 4 against him. Perfect time to get his first hit, get a 200 batting average.
Popped up, foul territory. Duda. So that's the second out, and that one hurts. We will not get a pitching change. So now it's up to Chris Davis. 6 pitchers used in this game by the Mets.
Oh, 7 this inning.
It's veteran Fernando Salas. Well, started the inning, then faced 4 batters. Reed faced 2, and now Blevins, who's trying to clean up the mess. The A's need a big hit from Chris Davis. First pitch, and he had a mighty cut and fouled it straight back. Interesting. Chris Davis, 186 batting average against left-handed pitchers. Sometimes you just scratch your head. You can't figure that out.
Yeah, can't figure it out, and that's why he just closed it off. And of course, he doesn't want the sac fly to hit his 3rd at bat. That was against the lefty. Just trying to drive the ball someplace hard.
A little bit low from Blevins. Barry Blevins, of course, we remember him, his time with the Athletics. He was a pretty good reliever. 1-1 pitch. Into the bat. I think Blevins has gotten better after he left here.
Yeah, you're right. Well, experience, and especially if you're a situational lefty, you're going to face a lot of left-handed hitters. And that curveball that he throws starts it at the hitter, backdoor to the right-hander, and I'm sure Terry Collins was looking at the numbers of Chris Davis against lefties and opting to leave him in.
He's ahead of Chris Davis, 1-2. Lowry's at third. Keeping a close eye on Rajay Davis at second. Simeon at first. This is Blevins' third year with the Mets. Chris Davis has a sacrifice fly. That was in the 5th inning. Fly ball will not do him any good this time unless it sails over the
long
outfield.
fly ball. Yeah.
One and two. Blevins kicks and deals, and a hard slider. Davis does not go. Darno does a good job. See what Darno did, right? He pointed at Blevins like, that's where I wanted it.
Exactly.
I'll block it,
Absolutely.
don't worry.
And he's done it. He's done it all night.
And he moves around pretty well back there.
That's a hard slider down and in. It goes back door in to the back foot.
Two pitch. Got him with a fastball. So the A's score 2. Creep a little bit closer. They also leave them loaded in the top of the 8th. 7-5. Bottom of the 8th coming up. .514-1 for the A's, 7-9-0 for the Mets. So the A's have had plenty of opportunities tonight, but a couple of home runs by Michael Conforto is the difference in this game. Blackburn gave up 4 earned runs in 5 1/3. Mets went just the 5 innings. A couple of hits, a couple of singles for Cespedes. And you see the A's offense, they're 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position, but they've also left 11 runners on board. So, new pitcher is the veteran John Exford. So it's been Blackburn, Boulomb, Trinan, Montes, and now Exford. #21st appearance for John Exford. It's been a struggle for the veteran so far this year. Nice to see him finish the last couple months of the season on a high note. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year. Lowry stays in the game. He is at second base. So Lowry will hit in that 9th spot. The 7th spot will now be the pitcher spot. Got to stay on top of that stuff when you're in a National League ballpark.
That's why Bob Melvin went to the umpire. Double switch kind of, or kind of leaving the guy in a sense. It was just totally different than the American.
Cespedes rips one to right field, and that's a hit. So Yoenis Cespedes is 3 for 4. 3 singles. He has scored a run. And that'll bring up Lucas Duda.
Well, you want to pitch him away. He did hit the breaking ball to left field in the hanger. But twice now he's gone to right field with bullets. Not much that he hit softly.
No. He's not into hitting it soft.
No.
Duda. First pitch to Duda is a strike in the outside corner. Surprising number from the A's this year is their record in interleague play. They're 2-8.
It's hard to believe.
They've always had pretty decent success playing against the National League, but last year and this year that has not been the case. Last year the A's were 7-13 in interleague.
And for a while they had one of the top records in all of baseball.
Yeah, they've slid a little bit the last couple of years, and something to keep in mind as the rest of the season plays out is they still have a fair amount of games in National League parks. They got the final 2 in this series, and then of course 2 in San Francisco, and in September they play 3 in Philadelphia. So that's 7 more games after tonight still to be played in National League parks, and just the 2 at home against the Giants. So we'll see a little more National League baseball final 2 months. Whether you like it or not,
it's going to happen.
Got to play it.
Well, when you're playing Philadelphia in September, and some would say that if you're going to be in the last month of the season, play within your division. But the A's have yet to see Baltimore. They'll see them, Boston, and at Fenway Park in September, in Philadelphia, and Detroit. One trip. That's the second and last 3-city trip for the Athletics this year.
1-2 to Duda, who is going to swing over top a big Axford curveball. So Duda now 1 for 4 as he heads back to the dugout. 1 away here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, Axford has a good curveball, and one thing that Bob Melvin has said to John Axford: be aggressive, charge the hitters, go after them. He's doing it with a fastball, finishing them with a curveball.
So that'll bring up DJ Rivera. He's had a couple of hits tonight. His play, or his at-bat, and what resulted in his at-bat in the 6th inning, obviously the biggest play in the game. 2-run single. Came with the bases loaded, and he ended up getting, what do they call that, a Little League home run.
Yeah.
You hit it, you just keep running. And he ended up scoring. So
but
it was a 3-run play. Rivera toward Rajai Davis in center field. He trots in, and Davis grabs it for the 2nd out. Well, there's nobody in the bullpen, so it's going to be Jerry Blevins. And as I look out there, Ray, through my binoculars, and I'm not even lying, it looks like there's really pretty much nobody out there for either team.
For the other team, yeah.
Cespedes went with the blue hair.
Yeah, that's a naked bullpen.
It's a little light out there right now.
Probably more bullpen catchers out there than pitchers. Between bullpen coach and catchers, you got a whole bunch of guys, and they're hiding.
Well, the Mets have used 5 relievers. The A's have used 4. Hendricks, Casilla, and Simone Castro are the 3 A's pitchers that have not been used. Right in there, 1-1. The Astros hung on to beat the Orioles 8-7. That game was 8-1 late. Orioles made a furious comeback but came up short. Reyes, a little pop-up, shallow center field. Simeon is going to get there. He makes the catch. Side retired. So one more shot for the Athletics. It'll be Chapman, Joyce, and then the pitcher spot. They need 2 to tie, 3 to go ahead.
That's one. That was a 2-run big boy. And then a little bit later, boom. And Pat, you were right. It was a single by Max, a home run by Conforto, a walk by Montas to Reynolds.
Yep.
And a 2-run home run by Conforto.
And Reynolds was hitting in the 9th spot. So the A's, a little work to do. As Chapman leads things off, Jerry Blevins staying out there. He got 2 huge outs in the 8th inning. It's a good pitch right on the outside corner. 1-1 the count. Bruce Maxwell and Jacob Brugman are the 2 position players that are left on the A's bench.
And if the pitcher's hitting the 7th spot, then one of those guys is going to be hitting.
Simone Castro starting to get loose. Matt Chapman is 0 for 4, so he needs his first hit. He struck out twice, grounded out, and popped out to third. Straight up infield defense against Chapman.
No.
Chapman flipped the bat.
Didn't have to be, Dan. Did not have to be. Yeah, it's a low strike, and he's got a pretty good eye now. He's better be swinging.
So 3-2. Here it is. Duda backs up. And now he's called off by Cabrera. They run into each other. And it ends up Duda, the taller one, wins that battle.
I got it, bang. And the biggest one is able to hang on, and that's Duda. He's a pretty big boy. He's saying, I got it. Between taller and bigger, got it.
He definitely got it. Cabrera walked away like he was mad. If anybody should be mad, to be Duda.
I don't think Duda needed help.
No, Duda had it.
I mean, he had it all the way. And Cabrera had to go all the way to the foul line to be able to even be a part of it.
So here's Joyce, and there's a slider, and it's called a strike.
Well, I'm sure Terry Collins, with Blevins going back out, he knew that it was going to be Joyce and then a lefty coming off the bench in the 7th spot of the batting order. And it had to be either Brugman or Maxwell, and exactly what Blevins enjoys facing, lefties.
So 1-1 the count. Remember, you stay tuned for A's Post Game Live, presented by State Farm. Brody Brazil, Pip Roberts, and Dave Stewart in the studio. Matt Joyce is 2 for 4. A couple of singles, scored a run. Fastball is low from Blevins.
Well, the biggest pitch of the game might be the 3-1 to Chapman. That could have changed the entire outcome of this game, or at least made it a different game if it had been called ball 4.
Good slider, called a strike. 2-2. There's a chant of Jerry coming out.
Yeah,
the Mets fans.
They did that at midnight at the Coliseum many years ago when nobody in the stands and everyone cheering Jerry when he put a bat in his hand. They're cheering for him now. He's had a very good season for the Mets.
And he stays with that slider, and he strikes out Joyce.
That's got to be tough to pick up, and got Matt Joyce shaking his head. Big sweeping breaking ball.
So the A's have now struck out 10 times tonight. And it'll be up to Bruce Maxwell. So Maxwell hitting in the pitcher spot. He is 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter this year. And the first pitch, a little slider, catches the inside corner for a strike. 274 for Maxwell. 4 doubles to go along with the home run. Fastball right down the middle, 0-2.
That gets you thinking about the curved slider. Sweeping breaking ball, and takes a fastball. Did it to Chris Davis. 5th batter that Blevins has faced. The big pop out to Alonso.
Right center, and this should do it, and it will. So fittingly that Michael Conforto catches the final out. He was the hero tonight with a couple of home runs. And when it's all said and done, the New York Mets take Game 1 of this 3-game series here at Citi Field, and the interleague struggles continue for the Athletics. So time of game was 3 hours and 14 minutes. The crowd tonight here, 26,969. So the final score from Citi Field, the New York Mets 7, the Oakland A's 5. A's Post Game Live, presented by State Farm, is set to go from the studio. Here is Brody Brazil.